Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday. We got this live broadcast here on a Saturday. I'm getting ready to go live on WFAN in New York City, getting ready to do my afternoon radio show for New York. And, I expected to talk about the New York Jets, expected to talk about the Yankees, but I think it's pretty obvious right now with the Tennessee Titans having, 8, 9 players test positive for COVID-19. And now Cam Newton test positive for COVID-19. One of the Chiefs' backup quarterbacks, I think he's the practice squad quarterback, he tests positive for COVID-19. They just got to go ahead and cancel the game. Why are they going to play tomorrow? What's to even think about? You're going to put a bunch of guys on a plane. Why even risk it? We know this is the NFL. We know this is big business. We know it's all about the money. We know it's all about the cash. But if Cam Newton tests positive, and yeah, right now you could have other players that come out and they can test negative, but that's not to say that's going to change. Are we now going to put them all on a plane, put them all in a hotel, make them play a game against the Kansas City Chiefs and think that everything is going to be fine? I think at minimum, we're going to have to reach a point where the game is pushed to Monday at the earliest. Maybe it ends up like the Tennessee Titans where the game is pushed back weeks from now. But this isn't a game. COVID-19 is not a game. It's not an issue. I mean, we got a guy sitting in the White House who for months has pretty much said this is something that's going to go away. This is something that's going to be easy. And that's not the case. Major League Baseball had to deal with this. The NBA, the NHL, they isolated themselves to deal with this. And there's no such thing as Football Island. We weren't going to have 100 football fields for 32 teams and just kind of keep these guys safe. There's no such thing as a football bubble. And this was bound to happen. The NFL expected it to happen. The NFL, Roger Goodell said it this week. Roger Goodell said, we expect players to test positive, but we also still expect to keep going. But are we going to get through the season? I think, yeah, through hell or high water, unless we have massive outbreaks. Cam Newton might be the guy who went down right now with COVID-19, but it'll be somebody else next week. It'll be somebody else the week after that. We may not have a full 16-game slate. But you can bet your ass the NFL is going to try to play that Super Bowl. The NFL is going to try to get through the regular season. And we know what Cam Newton has meant for the Patriots so far. This is a solid adjustment for New England. Yo, Cam the Ham, thank you for listening to my radio show on CBS Sports Radio. Shout outs to Cam the Ham. I appreciate you. But Cam Newton has 700 plus yards passing. Cam Newton has 150, 170 yards rushing. Cam Newton has accounted for 4 touchdowns on the ground all by himself. And now who are you going to throw out there? Brian Hoyer? You're going to throw Stidham? It's not even a matter of football right now. It's a matter of reality. It's ridiculous to play a football game. It's ridiculous to put these guys on a plane. It doesn't make any sense to send them out to Kansas City to play a Sunday night football game. Shout outs to Eric Smith. Appreciate you. Eric Smith has been rolling with me since 2010. Eric, I see you. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow me on Instagram as well. Twitter at JRSportBrief. I just don't know how the NFL can get through this. You're dealing with the Tennessee Titans. They have a game that's now delayed. They have a game that's going to be held up until week 7 against the Steelers. The Steelers, their off week that they were going to have, now they're going to play the Ravens that week. This is crazy. And we're only in week 4? We didn't have preseason. Everybody was in their own practice facilities. Folks were going and coming home. But the reality is that's not the case anymore. NFL players have free will. We don't know how Cam Newton caught COVID. We don't know where he was or what he did. And it really doesn't matter at this point. I've had people call me up on my radio show at night and say, especially for the Tennessee Titans, hey, it's not fair, but good for the Tennessee Titans. They caught COVID and we don't know what they were doing and they were reckless. So it's not fair. So they have nobody to blame but themselves. How can you say something ridiculous like that? How do we know that somebody's kid didn't go to school and bring it back home? How do we know some guy didn't deliver or drop off the water and spread it or pass it on? If you have COVID, it doesn't mean you were outside just, sucking in everybody's air. It doesn't mean you were sniffing air from people's faces. You could have COVID and just be around minding your damn business. You can be in an enclosed space. You can get on an elevator. Come on. You can walk into a room. There's so much that we don't know. So let's not vilify the players who unfortunately test positive. And right now, Cam Newton is obviously the biggest name. Von Miller tested positive for COVID. Von Miller, this happened early in the offseason. The NFL has had the benefit of the doubt to go out and play these games. The NFL had a chance to wait on the NBA, see what they did in the bubble. The NHL, Major League Baseball. Why did the NFL think that things were going to be different? All the NFL really did was set up a contingency plan to maybe delay games, push them back, cancel some, and now we're seeing all of this come to fruition. So there are no surprises here. Unfortunately, Cam Newton tests positive, but guess what? He's not going to be the last guy. The Tennessee Titans have their issues this week. I mean, today, what is it? 8, 9, 10 different players that test positive on the Tennessee Titans. They have about 10 other staff members that test positive. This is not going to be it for the NFL. So in 1 week, it took 3 weeks for us to get here. Moving into week 4, we got the Tennessee Titans. We have Cam Newton, and you can expect more. There's a player on the Chiefs right now, a practice squad quarterback. He's tested positive for COVID. So what do you think is going to happen next week? You think, this is going to go away? This is the reality if you're a fan of the NFL. The rest of this year is going to have more instances just like this. Expect another player, and it's not going to have to be a star, but expect another player to test positive next week and the week after that, and expect another cancellation, expect another delay. We may not realistically see a 16-game season, but I could tell you this, the NFL is going to have their Super Bowl. The NFL is not giving up that money. The NFL is going to move forward even if it means that a team is going to play, 10 games. You think the NFL is giving up more money? They've already lost billions of dollars without fans in the stands. They've already looking at losing more billions of dollars just off of television contracts. I would love to see the Super Bowl. I would love to see the Kansas City Chiefs take on, let's say, the Seattle Seahawks. I'd love to see Cam Newton running the hell over people for weeks. And this is the other reality. Cam Newton tests positive today. You might as well say this dude is going to be gone at minimum for 2 weeks. So the New England Patriots, even their season, if you want to think about things from a football perspective, the New England Patriots, their whole season has been changed here. So I'm going to talk about this on my WFAN show for New York City this afternoon. I get going at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Just get ready for more craziness here with this NFL season. Get ready for more craziness as to, unfortunately, guys testing positive for COVID. They ain't in no bubble. They're out here living in the world just like us. They might be told to go straight to the facility, but we don't know. People are still in contact. His mom, his wife, his girlfriend, his friends, the delivery guy. There are plenty of people who can bring this to your doorstep. It's not the NBA bubble. It's not the NHL bubble. Things like this will continue to happen. So get used to a crazy NFL season. If you're asking me, Major League Baseball, their 2-month season, Major League Baseball's 2 months, it was a damn joke. Major League Baseball in their 2-month season was a joke. It's crazy to me to hear folks talk about MVP this and Cy Young this. And okay, yeah, you got to give it away for the 2 months that you played of the regular season. But it's a joke. And we heard this and learned this early on from Rob Manfred. What we want to do, what we're going to attempt to do is still play through this. Why? Because they wanted to get to the postseason. And here we are. Major League Baseball just announced their long agreement where I think they're going to make about $4 billion almost just with Turner Sports to broadcast the baseball games. You think the NFL is going to miss out on their money for their playoffs? The NFL expanded their playoffs. The NFL expanded the playoffs so they can go out and make more money. The regular season, okay. Game to game, week to week, New England Patriots, Kansas City Chiefs, we all wanted to see that game. I wanted to see that game tomorrow. I don't have the same type of interest. And the reality is the game should be moved back. The game should be pushed away. The game should take place on Monday, or the game shouldn't take place at all. Let's see who else tests positive. None of this makes any sense. The NFL is a business, makes $10+ billion every year, and they're not leaving that money on the table. It just so happens to be that human beings are at the centerpiece of what they do. And Cam Newton is the first name. Cam Newton is the biggest name. Cam Newton is the former NFL MVP in 2015 to test positive. And the reality is more folks will test positive. And the NFL will try to continue on. All full steam ahead to the Super Bowl unless a massive outbreak occurs and then the NFL just becomes a complete joke. So look, I wanted to come on my YouTube and talk to you all about that real quick. Cam Newton might have been the first big name outside of Von Miller, especially here in the regular season. But I'm afraid, and I hope I'm wrong, that Cam Newton won't be the last. And this NFL season, what I hope it doesn't devolve into is a joke. You think this season is going to be a joke? I think it has a potential to be. I think Major League Baseball, their season was a farce. And with the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots, I put it to you this way. Hey, delay the game. There's no sense in playing tomorrow night. Why? Move it, postpone it, do it later on this year if you can. We're going to have more of that along the way. But Cam Newton tests positive. Chiefs practice squad quarterback tests positive. I get it. You want to play as many games as possible, but is it worth it? Just for the money? How do you weigh the money versus the reality of people's health? It's a tough decision to make, but we know things always boil down to the bottom dollar. You know, I hope Cam Newton gets better. I hope everybody on the Tennessee Titans gets better. But come on, we're going to have more instances like this, and we knew it was going to happen. I'm going to holla at y'all later. Much love. Catch me on WFAN at 2 p.m. Eastern time today. You can follow me on Instagram at JRSportBrief. Make sure you hit the subscribe button right here. Turn those alerts on. You can listen to me on CBS Sports Radio every single weeknight. Much love to you. Stay safe. They need to cancel the damn game. Later, y'all.